Please turn it down. Hey, this is Rosa RCG Creations. How you doing? Bringing you today something that's like, oh, habaneros. Hope you saw my video that I posted on the 17th of April. And these are the leftovers. And Frugal Rosa's not going to let them go to waste. So, I'm going to slice them. And we're going to dehydrate them. And we're going to make habanero powder. I'm also got some leftover jalapenos. And we're going to do it in the same batch. And this is going to go in the garage. Because I want to make sure it doesn't smell in the house. So anyway, got my little towel. This is going to be used for nothing but for this stuff here. So that way I can wash it. Make sure you wear your gloves. Make sure your table's all clean and sanitized. Make sure your tools are clean and sterilized, sanitized. And let's get to chopping. I'm going to leave the seeds on here because when they go into the dehydrator, I'm going to put them on my jelly rolls. And this skin part, I'm going to dehydrate that also. Okay, I'm not going to throw any of that away. Because when they go into the dehydrator, they will dry. And then I'm going to have one jar, because I'm going to put these in a jar, and then I'm going to vacuum pack them tight. And I'm going to label that jar, so that jar from then on will only be used for jalapenos or any kind of pepper. Now this little stem, I am going to take off and discard that. But because this is about a little bit more than 1/4 thickness here, see that? It's going to be more than thick enough. And I'm assuming it's probably only going to take 6 to 8 hours. I've never done these, so I don't know. After 4 hours, I'm going to check them and see how long it's going to take. So I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of these. Then I'm going to lay them on the trays. And then I'll bring you back. Okay, here we go. There is the tray of jalapenos. My Nesco Garden Master requires I use 4 trays at one time. And look how pretty. That is my habanero. Don't get too close. Oh, and FYI, when you're close to this, try not to really breathe in heavy. And then when you're done cutting and laying everything, wipe the outside of your tray with a Clorox wipey or something like that, or a paper towel that's on vinegar, because you want to, if there's any oils on your hands, they would be around here. And then you touch your face, you're gonna be painful. So do that before you take this to the dehydrator, just to be on the safe side. Okay, and then what I like to do, because as you can tell, my gloves, I recycle them. I use them until they rip. And all I do is I wash them with some soap, dish soap, rinse them off, rinse all the soap off, put some more soap on there. I do that when I'm doing peppers. I do it 3 times just to make sure any oil and residue from the peppers are off the gloves. Then I leave them on the dish tray to dry and let it air dry. And I've been doing that for years, and it seems to be working okay for me and no problems, and I've never had any issues about having my gloves and touching my face, and it's like, burning and stuff. So, because my dehydrator's in the garage, I'm not going to take you over there because I can't do the camera and the dehydrator at the same time. So I will just bring you back when the dehydrator is done. And then I will do another phase where I'm actually powdering these. And they're going to be in 3 different jars. One's going to be for the habanero jar. They're going to be little baby jars. One's going to be for the jalapeno jars. And one's going to be for the seeds of the habanero. And I'm going to label each one of them so that way it's all going to be powdered. And when hubby wants to make something spicy, he can just add all he wants. Okay, I'll bring you back to the next phase. Okay, the dehydrator is done. I ended up leaving it all last night because I was pooped and got tired. So, I'm going to do the habaneros last, just in case there's a huge kick of the peppers. I'm using my Mr. Coffee doesn't say what kind, but it does have, you can do either 4, 6, 8, 10, or 12 cups. You can do fine, medium, or coarse to grind. It even gives you a little direction. So this is actually a very nice coffee blender, which I've been using for all my grinding. So I'm not using any gloves because this is dry, so I shouldn't have any, like, I'll burn in from raw peppers, hopefully. If my fingers start to burn, I was like, ah! I'll pause it, wash my hands. Oh, don't forget, make sure your table is clean and sanitized. That way, if you have any loose spoons like this, you can just put them back in your container to grind up. So this was equivalent of about 6 nice big jalapenos. I don't think I took a picture. I'll double check. If I do, I'll put it in the description, in the video, but I don't think I did, of how big the peppers were. And of course, you know, jalapenos and actually all peppers, you never know how big they are. You also don't know how spicy they are until you actually get into it. Okay, so now I'm just basically grabbing all my peppers, and you can tell they're definitely all dried up because they kind of poke you because they're hard. And this is good to put in any kind of recipe, or even the powder. Just sprinkle it on whatever food that you're eating if you want a little bit of extra kick. Or just stick it in your recipes when you're making something. So it's actually a good idea to have powdered items of different types of food, as long as you do your research and you know it's okay to powder that particular item. Not everything can or should be powdered, and there's just so much out there. I'm not going to go into that. Everybody, you know, just do your own homework. You do what you want to do. This is your life. It's also your family's health, which is another reason why everyone really should be doing their own research. You know, or experiment small. You know, try it. Just because nobody's ever done it before doesn't mean it isn't going to work. And what works for one family or person may not work for another one. Okay, so I got all my little speckles. Excuse me, sorry about that. I had a sneeze there. Okay, so I'm just double checking my mesh to make sure there's not any loose ones there. Put that away. Double check my tray. Oh, look, sure do have some little ones. I didn't go through all this effort of chopping and having a little bit of nose irritation from sniffing the peppers to have any of it go to waste. I'm not being so much frugal as much as it's a lot of work and some pain. I will tell you, there was some pain because it was like one time I inhaled right in front of a pepper with my hand was right here, and it's like, ah, boy, did that burn. It didn't burn long, but it did burn. It was very uncomfortable. Okay, so there's those. We're good to go here, and these are the rest of those habaneros. Let's chop them up. I'm going to do extra fine because I want it to be extra fine. I'm going to do it at 8. Actually, I think I'm okay at 8 cups. Oops. You see the smoke that's coming around? Back up. Let it settle. Because that smoke will get in your sinuses and that will burn. Believe me, I know. I've done it. I'm waiting. I'm going to wait and let it settle. I'm going to move it away from me. See here, I'm at arm's length. Slowly, you can see, I hope the video can see it, but you can actually see some of that smoke rising. You see that? So I'm going to close it. I'm going to wait. Ooh, I can already smell it. Just thinking, if you were right here on top of it, right straight to your sinuses. Sometimes that's good because it cleans them up. Sometimes it's not because it's like, ow! Okay. Ooh, you can smell that, baby. Okay, I'm gonna wait for most of that. Just slowly blow. Ooh, it's strong. Ugh. I wonder what the habaneros are gonna be like. Okay, and it's crumbled up, but it's not crumbled up into a fine powder like I like, that I wanted. So I'm gonna do some more. See that smoke that's coming? You see that? Woo! Woo, I can smell it. Actually, it smells good, but not too that great. I don't want to totally inhale it. Oh, still way too much powder. Too much smoke. Ooh. Okay. I'm just going to let it evaporate a little bit. I'll blow it away from me. Ooh, that one got me. Right in the throat. Right in the throat. Ooh. So be very, very careful when you're powdering peppers. Okay. Yep. That is a great consistency. Now, of course, because it's just a small amount, I'm just going to use my little baby jars. I'm taking off my lid. I'm going to spin this one has a little plastic thing here, and I'm just going to spin it so if there's any powder anywhere, it will go through there. But let me show you. There is the powder. And I'm using a long teaspoon. I want to make sure I do not inhale. And when you're doing this, I'm going to be honest with you, from experience, when you get right into this, to pour it out, hold your breath. Okay, so we're done with that batch. And let me show you. Let me get a little closer to you. Look at that. See how fine that powder is? Yum, yum, yum. I'll label that. Oh, don't forget, always wipe down on your rims, because there's any powder, it's not going to give you a good seal. And if you want this for long-term storage, like say 6 months to a year, 18 months, I probably wouldn't do any more than 18 months, because this will lose some of its nutrient, and it might even lose some of its spicy kick. I don't really know. I've never actually had anything last that long, so I don't know. And see, it's all gone. It was just very, very fine powder. But see that? And then you can store it, so label it. So I'm going to put that away. Let me get myself ready. Now, ideally, what you want to do is wash this out, and your lid, and your spoon, and then dry it, and either air dry it or dry it hand towel, and then get a blow dryer in there, because you got to make sure this and this is not moist whatsoever. You cannot have any kind of moisture when you're doing dehydrating, okay? Because moisture is its enemy until you're ready to rehydrate it. But because it's hubby, this is for hubby, and he likes both of these, I'm just going to go ahead and do it now. I'm not going to wash it, but you, again, like I said earlier, you do you, you do what works for you, what's best for you. So, hubby likes to make stuff and cook spice for the flavor. He likes the heat, but he's more of a for the flavor of it. Oh, I know what this was. This is my carrots and my red onions. Don't want to mix this up. Look, look, look. Move this over to the side. I didn't want to waste a dehydrating session, so I added my, I had a leftover little baggie of red onions. I mean, excuse me, not red onions. That is carrots and radishes when I was making my salad. Now, these are all the habaneros. Now, I definitely will wash everything and let it dry. And sometimes I put it in a blow dryer if I'm in a hurry. I'll put a blow dryer and I move the little plastic inserts in there to make sure that everything is totally dry before I try to powder something. Okay, so, and I forgot to keep track, I don't remember. I see, I'll double check on the video and I'll post it. And you see all the little seeds? I'm going to keep all the seeds in here. The seeds are what give the spice, but that's what's nice about it when you powder it, is you get to pick how spicy you want, because you're the one that's putting it in your ingredients. Okay, that's not going to work. I will tell you, that's one thing about this, the coffee grinder, is it's got a really short cord. I wish it had a longer cord, but you know, I love it because it's done extremely well for me. I know there's other brands out there, but you know, you use what you got. Okay, now I gotta make sure it sits in the little grooves. Okay, where are my little grooves? This part always gets me. There we go. Okay, so. Because that's habanero, I'm going to let that dry. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. And I will tell you, during that break there, I had to blow my nose. The sides are, or my nostrils are going, ow, 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 ow. I must have had some powder residue. So I went to go blow my nose. I mean, I washed my hands. I went to go blow my nose, and it's like, ooh, I guess I didn't wash it very well. So, FYI, this is habanero. This is a tough pepper. Okay, I went ahead and grinded it, and I did that off camera, and I'm letting all the smoke, because I was right here, and you see the distance, so it's a little bit less than arm length for me, and I'm 5 foot tall, and it was like, whoa, I could definitely, you know what, when you're doing this, don't breathe. When you first open the container. Okay, so I'm going to quit talking because I'm not going to breathe. And look, fine powder. Ooh. It goes straight into my lungs. Okay, I'm going to have to go put me a mask on. I ain't going to be able to do this. I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. Wash my hands, put my mask on. I make my own masks. I put my little, I have a little thing in here that, with a piece of wire inside, so I squish it down. That way my glasses don't fog up. Oh, okay. This is just made with a handkerchief. Bought at the craft store. Anyway, now I can do what I need to do, because I won't be inhaling. And again, I'm turning the inside so it all swivels and gets all the powder everywhere. Whew, you know, even with the mask, I can still smell it. Oh, I feel sorry for the people who work in a factory, but I'm sure they wear more protective gear than just a regular. This is a 2-layer mask that I'm wearing. I don't have my filter in it because this is just what I have here at the house in the kitchen. And I'm doing something and I don't want to inhale something. So I'm just scraping it because I want to get all that powder in my jar. And I'm definitely going to be using Clorox wipes on my table, because this is some potent. Remember, I used the seeds, so this is why it's even more potent. And I would just tell you, I think just a tiny little, probably like two little granules would be enough to give you some kick. I don't eat the stuff hubby does, so he's on his own. And he knows how spicy it is. He loves all kinds of, he's into the good flavor along with the spice. So now I'm just basically scraping it all out. Typically I would touch this, but I'm not touching this stuff. Because whenever I'm depowdering any other vegetable, I touch it just to make sure that it's all totally dry. But I'm not going to do this. You know what? My nose is still burning. I'm just scraping it all out. Trying to get the best of it I can. I'm not touching that. I'm sorry, I'm not. This is burning my nose still. And that was just a very small faint. And I can see that, but I'm not going to touch it. I'm not touching it. Trying to get as much off the rim. But see that? Now I've got powdered habanero pepper. So I say this was a good success with my leftover jalapenos and pepper from my salsa making. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit like, comment, and share, and subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. We thank you. We'll catch you in the next video. This really is good, and you know it's gonna. For those who like spice, there's your spice. Take care now. Take care. Bye bye.